Wood Turners, I'm Captain Eddie Castellan. Welcome to my shop. Got a little something on the cheap for you today. I like to use my NSK carver here to put my name on in my pieces. I know some turners believe you use a little bitty micro marker and you put little bitty marks on them, but this isn't a stamp with the heat and all that. I think it works out very well. I hate to tell those other guys those marks that they put on there. I got chemicals that'll take them off. Not that I would try that. Well, you know what? My name's not that hard to spell unless you're talking when you're doing it. And I put my name and the date and the item number. The item number accrues throughout the year, so it might change every once in a while. But that's using my NSK. You want to do it on the cheap? I know you do. I know you do. Watch. This is my NSK Presto. It's available at Treeline, Craft, a handful of other places. If you're going to buy something like that, you're buying a national name and you're buying a reputation. So don't get married to the houses because of the catalogs, because when it craps out, and it does, there's a little turbine right here in the top, right at the very end. All the rest of this is stick. Right here at the very end is what makes it work, and you see mine's fairly new because I just had to replace it. That's a $200 item. This is a $400 item. So if you want to do the same kind of detailing, want to put your name on the bottom of a piece, you want to do some piercing along the sides of stuff and all, you can go with this. Or let's go to the cheap. Let's go to eBay and buy this. Now this is also an NSK. It's a Panamax made by NSK. And it's more for the dental industry. But a cutter is a cutter is a cutter. High speed's high speed. And if you can save a few bucks, this is the way to go. Let me tell you more about it. The difference, this works more like a writing tool. You can carve it and detail it, and it's a little bit more comfortable on your hand when you're working. It still gets cold on this end. I don't know a way to heat up the air, but this will still get a little bit uncomfortable sometimes. This is operated by 40 pounds of air through a little, I guess that's about a 1/8 inch plastic tubing. This is a sleeve for 1/4 inch plastic tubing, which works really good for an adapter to get it down onto the piece. Why? Because I keep losing the little rings that come with it. Now, this is the dental tool. This, don't go to your dentist office and ask him, because he probably leases his and he trades it back to his dental provider who maintains the quality of it. This has to be sanitary. I mean, he's going to stick it in your mouth, and then he's going to stick it in my mouth, and oh my God, I'm going to throw up over this. Okay. And this also does not have a connector that's as easy to get to. That made for a little challenge. Oh, they both use the same 1/16 inch cutter. I'll tell you more about the cutters in a minute. The challenge was to get the air onto it. I solved that challenge today, and I had to go all the way to the corner hardware store. When I went to the hardware this morning, and I got a great little Ace Hardware in the corner by the house, I told them I needed some parts to connect an NSK engraver to a piece of plastic hose, and the guy took me right to that section Yes, to the section that sells just those parts. But you know what? That sure looks like a compression ring for 1/8 inch line. But he guaranteed me this is made for an NSK tool. But I slipped the plastic hose on, and then with this go-oner tool, I pushed that up. I don't know, but that sure looks like it worked. I don't know. Guy didn't mislead me. He charged me 18 cents for that ring. I think that was overcharge. I really do. I think he got next to me. But now I have this cutter. It doesn't work like an ink pen, but I can still take the piece, and put my name on it with the same cutter. And oh yeah, this cutter came from Tree Line. Same place I got the little regulator. But then on the shelf, I've got a regulator that I picked up at Home Depot. The only thing I didn't have was the little switchable on and off valve. So I need to put a little gate valve on it that I can also get at Home Depot, or really on a corner. Now, that's two things. Number three, what's this thing do besides write my name? I'll show you. A while ago, Ron did some pieces with very thin tops. You can see there's a difference in the thickness of that band. So the top on this is about a heavy 16th. And I'm going to just use a regular carbide cutter. This is from Tree Line. And what we're going to do is just continue the engraving or the cutting around this. Now, you can also take out larger piercings. I'm just going to go ahead and take out larger to make this spider web like. I can keep cutting these out. You do know I picked that up and hit the off button when I wanted to actually turn the air off. So I kind of quit early. I had a little cutter. This is a cutter by Tree Line. Okay, let's put it right there. Right. That's a cut. Well, that's out of the camera, huh? Let's get it back in here. There you are. Little cutter by Tree Line. They work very nicely. They cost about $2 a piece. Now, I'm going to do a little something here. I'm going to show you something. See all these cutters? All these cutters are the same thing. They're all 1/16 inch cutters. And they all do piercing and balls and different things. Most of the time when you're just doing this or piercing out something to put a pattern on it, you're looking for a simple cutter, and there is a simple cutter. You know, diaburs. Yeah, right. Okay. This is from online, and I always have a problem opening the case. Alright, here we are. Now, these are diamond encrusted carbide made for the dental industry, and they work very well in here. You push this in, you push the clutch in a little bit, then using a gazinter tool you push it the rest of the way in, and that works. Now, I have found these online, this little box. I bought 200 of them for $13. 200 for $13. They don't last very long, but they last long enough to convince me that on regular runaway piercing, this will work just fine. It also, they don't last but 2 or 3 names, and they wear away, but at 13 cents a piece, I'm okay with that. I want to let you know that this is one of those cheap bits. And it holds up pretty well. I have to say that there is no substitute for a good tool. But if you're just looking to get into something and you can't go 4 big ones, can you go 20 little ones? Yeah, really. Now, I've got $20, 18 cents, a buck or so of plastic tubing on a regulator from my pancake compressor back there. Pancake has a hard time keeping up with it sometimes. I have to let it rest, but I'm not doing a big piece, and if I am, I just put a fan on it so it stays cool, and I go to town. Now, the cutters, you can order them online when you do find this. And how do you find this? Let's do a search for NSK Panamax. And I tell you what, you see all these numbers? Do a search for that information, and you'll probably get one to pop up. Now, you'll probably find it buyable for about 20 bucks. You'll find cutters, they'll pop up below there to go along with it. There is nothing that couples on this end that I can find that you and I would want to buy or can afford to buy. That gets a little steep. But like I showed you, with that compression ring at the hardware store, and I found 2 or 3 others too. I found another small one that'll go there. I think I bought 5 pieces and got change for $1. So I have 5 connectors to play with. It all works, and it's all okay. So if you're looking to get into it, this is how you get into it on the cheap. And there's nothing wrong getting into it on the cheap if you need to. Well, I'm not making shavings, as the sign says. I'm putting my name on something I made shavings on. And I really think I got to go back and work on this a lot to try to save it. But I'm going to take some of those squiggles I had on the other side and make them the piercing and probably pierce the whole thing out. Management's not real keen on it, but I can soda blast it to lighten up the burns. And assistant management, older daughter, mixed mom, she'll take it. Well, I'm Captain Eddie Castellan. You've been in the shop with me, making shavings. Well, sort of. You take care now. I forgot to turn this piece. This was coming out really nice. Ooh, look, $20 bill. Hey, that piece you just saw was how to save money from one NSK cutter to another NSK tool. How to save money. Let me tell you another way to save money. Carbide cutters. It's a big thing. Everybody wants carbide cutters. There's a whole industry built around them. There's also an industry about replacement cutters. And I'm going to tell you, the competition gets $16.95 for a 16 millimeter cutter plus shipping. Pretty much standard across the board. Here at Big Eye Productions, I'll sell you 3 16 millimeter cutters for $24 flat and $3 shipping, $27. That, I believe, is a little bit less than half price of one of their cutters. So, if you're interested in cutters, go to my website. Where? Right here, this one. www.eddiecastellan.com. Go to Cutters Only and check it out. Now, measure the cutter you have. And I'll have a cutter that'll probably match that. Okay? Thanks for sticking around and saving some money. Oh yeah, that's gonna tickle.